Good morning, guys. Welcome to the video. Today is Monday, March the 4th, I think. Very early, just finished up my cardio back there on the treadmill, 40 minutes fasted, incline treadmill. Now this week, we are in the 6 weeks out. We just passed 6 weeks out this past Saturday, and coach sent some updates, both from a cardio perspective and then nutrition. So what I wanted to do today is give you guys a full day of eating and talk about what's changed, the adjustments that were made, and how I'm feeling about it. And it's the beginning of the week, so we're probably not going to feel too bad today, but as the end of the week approaches and the decrease in calories starts to creep up on me, I'm sure I won't be feeling that good. But we'll talk about all that later. So as I said, we just finished cardio, so now it's time to get our first meal in. Let's go. Okay, meal one going down. Now here's the setup right there. We got this stuff. Now normally these two are together, which you guys have probably seen a million times by now. This is oatmeal, blueberries, protein. This is 2 hard-boiled eggs. And when time allows me, I like to cook the oatmeal, sit back, relax, and enjoy that. Throw some cinnamon on it, and it's unreal. But when I'm jammed for time with clients, it's super easy to just blend that up and drink it. So that's this morning. I have clients starting at 6 till basically 10:30 straight. So I'll be able to quickly get that down, like between a client or whatever, versus actually sitting down and eating it, right? Which is, it's not like it's not ideal. That's not even the right way to say it, because I like it either way. But if I can eat it, I will, because it just feels like more. So since we can't have these, we're gonna throw this in with meal one, which is the same as previous. Nothing has changed to this meal. So we've got 5 ounces of chicken with 140 grams of rice and 5 grams of coconut oil, and then 75 grams of pineapple in there. And then, of course, we're going to add those in. So pretty substantial first meal. And then, as I just mentioned, we got clients till like 10:30. Have that probably around 9. So it's in my system. Since it's very, it's liquid and stuff like that, it gets kind of in my system relatively quickly. So by the time it's time to work out, then we'll be ready to rock. The only other thing as far as consumption goes is my pre-workout, which I had beforehand, but it's 0 calorie and stuff. So food-wise, meal one, meal two. So I'll touch base with you guys a little bit later. Not sure if I'm gonna do any workout footage since today's all about the food, but I don't know, you'll see. All right, guys, post-workout meal is on deck. I didn't film any of the workout. I, got in the zone, really didn't think about filming, and since today's mostly about food, I figured we'd keep the workout footage for another video. So we've got a little bit different post-workout meal. You guys know, if you've been following me for a while, you know the post-workout Cheerios was a staple. That got moved this week. A little bit heartbroken about it, but that's okay. This is still a good solid meal. So right here, I'm gonna try to show you a little bit. We've got 60 grams of oats, a scoop of protein, and then that stuff's all cinnamon. And then a little bit more protein, which is just 150 grams of egg whites with a little bit of garlic on there for flavor. So that is the post-workout meal now for the foreseeable future. Again, not quite as exciting as some Cheerios, but it'll do. It still tastes good. I still enjoy it. So we're gonna eat this now. It is currently 12 o'clock. So we're gonna eat again probably around 2. Gotta be back to work for 2:30ish. So obviously I'll show you the next meal, and then I'll show you my 5th meal that I'll be having at work. And then we'll be home tonight for the last meal, which is pretty much the same, if I remember correctly, from what I've had previously, but I'll show you that anyway. So I'm gonna have this, and then we're gonna talk about the changes that were made, starting this week, which I believe I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that there was some adjustments made. So I'll talk about that and give you guys kind of a comparison of what the previous weeks have looked like versus what it looks like now. And the food choices and macros and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna sit back, relax, enjoy this post-workout meal, and then we'll talk soon. All right, guys, so here is my makeshift little notepad about what all has changed as far as my diet and cardio goes. As I mentioned, we've experienced a couple changes. Coach Man has made some adjustments, but that's all right. We're gonna do it for the shreds. This week is expected to be a pretty solid drop in body fat, in body weight, and just a really good shot to kick the rest of this prep off on a high note. So I tried to break it down as simply as I could, and I'm going to explain, as simply as I can here. So at the top, plan at 8 weeks out, which was February 16th, and I was 160.0 pounds. Okay, so this is when we started carb cycling, which is right here at the top, right? So carb cycling, for those that don't know, basically means that some days are higher in carbs, some days are lower in carbs, which in turn means some days are higher in calories and some days are lower in calories. The high days were as follows: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and those were kind of coinciding with the harder training days, right? So Saturday was legs. So obviously we want a little bit more intake for that, a little bit more fuel for the workout. Sunday was rest, right? So we wanted on the rest day a little bit higher calories as well to kind of recover from the leg day. And then Monday is back and biceps, which back big muscle groups. We want to fuel that up. And then Tuesday, legs again. Then the low days were Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 3 low days in a row. The first week, guys, by the end of that Friday, I was just fried. I was so exhausted. Definitely just for my body not being used to the lower calories, just getting accustomed to that lower intake. Whereas this past week, on the second week of this setup, felt much better, right? It was just my body needed that time to adapt. Macros, I'm going to skip over this. I don't know why I did it in this order, but let's go to macros. So on the high days, calories were at just over 2,200, roughly 2,272 based on, his calculations. I'm not sure how exactly he calculates it, but what I do personally and for clients is I'll use MyFitnessPal, which is an app on your phone, and plug and play on there. He might do the same, I don't know. So these are obviously pretty close to what they probably actually are, but obviously there could be discrepancies based on, what brand of egg whites you use, for example, or, what brand of rice you get. Like, there can be small variances, but for the most part, these are probably quite accurate. So calories were 2272, protein 231 grams, carbs were 229, and then fat was 48. So that was on the high days, right? So the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we followed this. Then on the low days, calories dropped from 22 to 1,700. So that's a pretty dramatic drop. Protein stayed pretty much the same. Well, based on this, exactly the same. But carbs went from 229 grams down to 123. That is a big drop, guys. If you've never done something like this before, trust me, that is a very, very big drop. And then fat went down a little bit as well from 48 to 34 grams. Okay, so we ran with that for 2 weeks. And that got me down from 160 to 158 pounds. Okay, so pound a week, which is a very good, steady drop. So now, this past weekend, we just hit 6 weeks out on Saturday. I'm recording this Monday. So we've been on this now today's technically day 1 since he sent me the update last night. So carb cycling continues, which is the same setup, high-low days. We're following the high days as seen here. We're following the low days, the 3 in the row at the end. My training split is always the same, guys. The only variances with training is cardio. So we just basically run with the same program based on my training schedule. Cardio, let's skip that again. I'm all over the map, guys. Let's talk about cardio at the end, okay? So carb cycling continues. Macros. High days went to 2,068 from that 2,200. Protein, again, basically the same at just around 230. Carbs on the high day went from 229 grams down to 176. That's a big hit. Fat, 48 grams, pretty much the same. So these two numbers are from my Cheerios being gone. We swapped out potatoes for some rice, which you'll see a little bit later in the day. So that's a little upsetting. Those are my 2 favorite meals, and we made those disappear, which is what it is, but it's still sad. On the low days, calories went from 1,722 to 1,613. Protein, a small dip from 231 to 229, but you wouldn't even notice it. And then carbs from 123 down to 82 grams on my low days, which is pretty low carbs. So as I said at the beginning, that first week there, I was feeling pretty crappy by Thursday, Friday. I'm sure that'll be the case again this week. But again, we do it for the shreds. Fat, 41 grams, so not a whole lot of change there. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. The bulk of it is the same. It was just a drop in macros, right? A drop in total calories, which in turn causes a drop in carbohydrates. Cardio, briefly, I'll outline this. We started with, at the start of this 8 weeks out plan, we were doing 6 mornings fasted, which I would usually alternate between Stairmaster and treadmill. Stairmaster is obviously a little bit more strenuous, so the days that I felt good, I would hit the Stairmaster, and the days that I didn't feel as good, I would go on the treadmill. Still trying to work, still working hard, but obviously taking it a little bit easier on the treadmill versus the Stairmaster. Then we had one post-workout hit on the spin bike, which was 12 minutes, and then a post-workout 30 minutes on the treadmill. Cardio went down here, keeping the 6 40 minutes fasted. Again, I will alternate keeping the hit, but then taking that guy out and adding 3 40-minute evening sessions, which I'm planning to do on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because those are my least strenuous days as far as training goes. So I'm going to let my body recover when it needs to, and then on the days that I'm not pushing myself as hard in the gym, again, that's not an excuse to take it easy, but when you compare the intensity of an arm workout on the Friday versus a leg workout on the Tuesday, there is some difference. So timing out the cardio here with these low days is going to be key for me. So that's the brief outline, guys, the update as to how things are going and what kind of transpired between these 2 weeks at 6 weeks out. So hopefully that is helpful. I know this clip is pretty long, but I just wanted to give you guys as much insight as I could. So I'm going to get some computer work done, and then we'll have our meal number 4 in about an hour. All right, time for some food. So, meal number 4 today is green beans, 120 grams of rice, and then there's 5 ounces of green beef on 5 ounces of lean beef, not green beef. If it's green beef, we're in trouble. So this is meal number 4 today, guys. Last carbs of the day. And then this is meal number 5, all packed up. Green beans again, 5 ounce chicken, and 5 grams of coconut oil. So those are the next 2 meals today. As I just mentioned there, we've got the rice, which is the last carbs for the day. And then we've got that chicken meal with the green beans and coconut oil. And then tonight we've got egg whites, an egg, and some chicken with a little bit of spinach in there too, which I will show you guys that when we get home tonight. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy that meal, watch a little bit of YouTube, and then head back to work. I won't have time to show you guys, eating that 5th meal, the chicken, but just trust that'll be ate around about 4:30, and then last meal tonight around 7:30. So I'll see you guys tonight for that last meal. All right, guys, last meal is going down. I'm really hungry. It is 7:30, and it's been a long day. First day on the lower calories, and we're feeling it already. So we went with a lot of spinach and a lot of mushrooms because, 0 calorie, 0 carb, but high volume of food to make me feel full. We've got our 2 ounces of chicken. We've got 1 whole egg, and then 150 grams of egg whites. So this meal has not changed, thankfully. Some consistency. And then we added the garlic and stuff too for flavor. So I'm going to enjoy this meal, the last meal of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this full day of eating, going through all my meals. At this stage in the prep, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we are under 6 weeks now, so it's crunch time. It's time to get to work and get shit done and get that next level shredded. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.